Alright guys, welcome to day 31. Today is a bit special because this is a continuation of my previous videos of how to pick a product. So I get this question a lot. After you pick a product, let's say you've made a list of 10 products, how could you determine which one's the best winner? In other words, which one's gonna convert? So this is the biggest trap, by the way, in dropshipping. So oftentimes the main reason why people quit, realistically speaking, is because you would pick a product and then you would run it for X amount of time. On average, I'll say 1 month. At that moment, you're gonna determine whether it was a winner or not, based off two things. One is, let's say you've went viral and you didn't convert. That's the best way of determining whether it was a waste of time or not. Or the second option or the second scenario is you just never went viral and you just quit the product. So that's the typical way, or that's the typical route for every dropshipper out there. So today we're just gonna skip this line. We're not gonna do the trial and error. Instead, we're gonna create a list of 10 plus products which follows the criteria. So if you've been watching this bootcamp, there's many videos or many times where I've shared what you should be looking for in terms of a winner. And this is for organic branded dropshipping. So if you're new here, we're doing organic branded dropshipping. And by brand, I mean just perception. The best thing you can do is just to get your label, your logo on the box, and then you have your brand. So let's get into it. This is very important, and this will honestly save you a lot of time and money. And this is what mentorships are for. They just pick your product. So my number one advice for, let's say you currently have a list of 10 products which follows the criteria of the ones which I've made, mainly custom products. One, the first thing you want to do is check all of them. Check these 10 products or competitors and see their comments. This is the first advice I would share, is check their comments. I'll tell you why. Comments is one of the best ways to determine their algorithm, or in other words, what sort of audience this product attracts. So if you find a product which has a lot of kids commenting like give me a free X, give me a free product, that's probably not the type of product you want to run. On the other hand, if you find a product which has a bunch of preferably 25 years old or older sort of audience in the comment section, or even better, preferably the female audience, because they can just impulsively buy based off emotions, then you have a winner. So that's why comments are the most important indicators of whether you have a winner or not. The second point is, again, you need to ask yourself, this is more like a rational question, regardless of whether you like the product or not, you need to ask yourself, who is watching this product? What's the target audience? So the audience is very linked to the comment section, but the comment section is more like there's multiple factors which could control the comments. So for example, if you have a good account with the methods which you could do to target a specific audience, for example the US audience, then the comment section is gonna naturally look different from someone else who just didn't do the account setup properly and they're getting lower quality leads. So there's obviously ways or factors which will change the quality of the comments. So you might find a good product, but then two different accounts have two different sort of comment sections. One of them shows you no hope in terms of running it, but then on the other hand, you have a lot of, I think the term is like buying power. So they're willing to buy the product. So yeah, you need to keep that in mind next time you look for a winner, is that the comment section could vary from account to another. And that's why I want to give you a quick tip here. there's a new feature, or at least new to the dropshipping space. I think it's been around for like over a year, which is restricting country restriction. And this is going to be based off age. So I believe actually, because I've tried, the maximum age requirement you could set is 25, which is good enough, by the way. I've tried this myself, and this has improved my algorithm. Like, I wish I could share the numbers without revealing the product. Maybe I should, because I had like 40% of my audience going to unwanted countries, but then after I said this, it went down to like 10%. The rest are US, Canada, Germany, just like EU in general. So this is actually one of the most important things you should do, especially if you're like suffering with this problem. And trust me, no matter how much account setup you do, so you do like the US VPN method or whatever, you're gonna still reach a point where it's either gonna not work, okay, or you're gonna have like a 50-50. There's a lot of people which I know which had bugs, so it wouldn't work properly with the VPN method. For that reason, this is actually my favorite way of ensuring you have high quality leads. And that way you could make sure that your comment section is going to be filled with higher quality leads. So I had to share that. So the comments are one of the best ways. Then the audience. So who is going to watch my content? This is the question you got to ask yourself. Preferably, once again, adults must be watching your content. So you don't want to sell a product which is only going to attract the younger audience who is not capable of buying. And then preferably a product which is in the woman niche. Really important. Like, I've seen a pattern where pretty much every single person I've seen who has a big winner from my circle, they tend to run women products. A lot of them did that, and it just works like a charm. The third factor of determining whether a product is going to convert is test order. It's not mandatory, it's optional, but if you are still not sure, then you could just test order. This is a bit costly, especially if you face troubles to like refund it. But yeah, this is obviously like one of the best ways to determine the amount of sales. In my opinion, in my unpopular opinion, I don't think anyone said that, but you could actually test order. So you could literally sacrifice some money. So instead of getting the cheaper alternative from China or like directly from the supplier, you just order it from the dropshipper. That way you could compare their quality, or at least just make sure that your quality, the sample you get, is the exact same product as your competitor. Obviously, if there's a logo, then it's a different story. Then preferably you would wanna, order both, and then you could compare your product to the competitor product. But yeah, just keep that in mind, that if you are willing to, spend some money, this might actually be a good way to even compare the quality of the product. And then fourthly, it's all about momentum. So you want to make sure that whoever is posting on the account that you're trying to replicate, so let's say you find this product that you really like, you want to run, and then you check their latest post. It was posted like 2 weeks ago, and they've clearly went viral, especially like recently, because there's this one pattern which I've always seen, is that some pages, they go incredibly viral. They get like 50, let's say 10 million views. I'm gonna set it a bit low. So if you've seen a page that got somewhere around 10 million views in total over their past like end period of them posting, and then they stopped, or they've become inconsistent, then 100% that's a sign that they face a problem, whether no sales, whether supplier issues, something, okay? For the most part, like 99% of the time, it's actually because of the sales. So they didn't convert after going crazy viral. So they just quit. So on the other hand, how would you know that it's printing? You would have to see that they're posting twice a day, or even some people would post. There's a new method, by the way, which I shared on day 30, posting trial reels. So there's actually a lot of people, and I think this is a good way of hiding from competitors. So you could literally just post once on your page, and then your competitors might think that you're inactive, you're just posting once, but in reality, you're posting like 5 trial reels per day and then one normal reel. This is one of the more advanced strategies, and I personally do. So that's one thing you could do as well. And I would highly recommend you test it with the country age restriction, because what I've noticed is with trial reels, they reset your algorithm as if it's a new account. So oftentimes it's just gonna be bad algorithm unless you set these country restrictions. So quick wrap up of what we spoke. Comment section, make sure that it aligns with your audience that you have set. So it needs to be preferably people who have money, so 25 years old or older, preferably women, so maybe they're buying a gift for their boyfriend, their husband, or for their children, or for themselves, obviously. And then the last resort, I would say, is test order. It's not mandatory. And then the fourth point is momentum or consistency. That's how you determine which product to pick. So hopefully this helps you guys pick your next winner, because obviously it's too flashy nowadays. Like you see a product go viral and you just want to hop on the trend, but in reality you need to first follow my criteria, which I've made. Pick a product which is not easy to source, custom product, and make a list, solid list, and then make sure it aligns with what we spoke about today, and then you have a winner, most likely. So thanks for watching. See you on the next day. Peace out, boys.